lot of what she was chatting about while I was getting my computer all prepped and ready is that ultimately at the end of the day, you can leave the lights off if you like. It's a little cozy with the fireplace off down.
Y'all don't fall asleep now.
So, when it comes to AMA Waterways, another reason why you haven't heard about us is because we don't do any kind of direct marketing. Everything we do is through our trusted travel advisor community. And when Clarissa mentioned that she wanted to throw this together with me, I said, absolutely. I love working with cruise planners. And, again, whether it's river cruising, ocean cruising, land packages, whatever, she's your gal if you're not already working with her. And I didn't see a raise of hands. Are any of you currently working with her? Not yet. Okay. Just out of curiosity, are any of you currently working with a travel advisor, period? A lot of people don't know, A, travel advisors still exist, and B, when you're booking incredible opportunities like AMA Waterways, you're not paying them any extra to take care of you. When you are putting together a transatlantic package or a European 7-night all-inclusive river cruise experience, you want to do that with a travel advisor that you can look in the eye and you can trust is going to put it together the right way. I've heard so many stories of people trying to do stuff online, and when it comes to the complexities and the details of putting together some of these more advanced trips, you need to rely on a travel advisor. So that's why so much of what we do is with advisor communities just like her. AMA means amore, it's love. AMA Waterways is the heart of the riverways, and every river cruise line out there has a great value proposition. They all do really well with what they do. We do things a little different. And the thing that ultimately makes us unique is our people. That is our number one distinguishing factor. The thing that sets us apart from everyone else on the rivers is going to be how you experience that opportunity on the cruise. So when I was saying before, hearts of the riverways, I know it sounds warm and fuzzy, but really at the end of the day, we want to make sure that you feel like a guest in our house and not client number 562. Now, I always like to start with this analogy too. I'm sure all of you go to the same restaurant or bar maybe once a month, and you are regulars at this place. And when you walk in, you know that you're going to be embraced, and the bartender's going to be like, hey, Susie, John, good to see you. Should I put the drinks together for you? And you say yes. I'm sure you all experience this from time to time. Yes?
Yeah.
With AMA Waterways, by day 2, everyone on board's a regular. And what I mean by that is not only with the other guests, you have an opportunity to build relationships with them, but the crew, the staff, the bartenders, everyone on board the ship makes you feel like a regular by day 2. Because they've already memorized your favorite drink, and they have that style, that technique to really make you feel comfortable. And again, like I said, a guest in our house.
Step aboard a world of exceptional experiences, where your journey is our passion. Allow us to share villages that time forgot. Walk along cobblestone streets filled with the lights. Paddle through historic town squares and revel in moments that last a lifetime. When you step aboard AMA Waterways, each day brings a genuine smile that warms the heart. Every river a new culture that inspires, and each course a moment to savor and share. Experience these wonders and delights with AMA Waterways, the heart of the river.
So the nice gal that was narrating that video, she's one of the 3 co-founders that started AMA Waterways back in '02. So we've been around for about 23 years now. Christine and Rudy were top executives at the other big guy out there. They left that company and they decided to create something different, something unique, and they started AMA Waterways. They partnered with the Murphy family, and the 3 of them got together and created this incredible river cruise experience that's unlike anything else out there. We're family owned and operated, and the reason why I emphasize that is because how it directly affects you is when you are traveling with us, you will recognize that every decision we make is based off of your enjoyment. Because we don't do direct marketing, you are our advertising. We want to make sure, no matter what, money aside, we want to make sure that you're having an incredible time, because when you come home, what are you going to do? Tell people about us. So that's why it really trickles down. The fact that we're family owned and operated, we don't have shareholders that we have to answer to. So whatever happens, whatever the case is, we want to make sure that you're happy, and to prove that point, we don't do direct marketing. How is it that we've grown to be the second largest river cruise company on the planet without direct marketing? You. Focusing on you as the customer and as the guest. So for those of you that haven't done river cruising, this is the big distinguishing sort of conversion point. Oceans take you to the countries, rivers take you through them. River cruising is going to be a far more immersive experience where the destination is the destination, not the stuff on the ship. The entire concept of river cruising is designed to get you off of the ship. We want you to go into town, feel more like a traveler and less like a tourist, and experience these destinations in small group settings. Whereas with ocean cruising, the idea is to keep you on the ship, spend more money on the ship. There's casinos, there's water slides, there's magic shows. With river cruising, we don't have any of that. The ship should be considered a floating boutique hotel. Every morning, the hotel magically pops up in the next port, and you walk off the gangplank. There's no security, there's no lines. You walk off the gangplank, and you are in the destination. A lot of people also forget that Europe was designed for river cruising. All the cities you want to visit in Europe are on the rivers. How were they built? Thousands of years ago, they would ship the blocks, the food, the people to these destinations. And so that's why Europe is obviously the hottest spot on the planet for river cruising. Have you all gone to Europe yet? River cruising is really the best way to experience Europe because, like I said, the countries are the size of some of our states. So it's kind of nice, and I'll talk about the river cruise that Clarissa's put together. It's the Danube that connects Budapest up to Vilshofen. You're going through 5 countries right there. And there's no better way to get a sampling of each country than just floating through it, rather than a motor coach or renting your own car and trying to figure out all the traffic laws, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So it's really quite nice with AMA Waterways that we take care of all those little details for you, so you just simply get off and enjoy yourselves. Obviously, we do all of Europe. Don't forget about Portugal in the bottom left. And then we've got our 4 exotics, which I'm not going to touch into because, again, tonight's all about Christmas. But we've got South America and Colombia, Asia, Africa, and Egypt. And again, Egypt is an incredible cruise. I can talk about it all night because I just got back from it. But again, we're going to be talking about the Danube, and we're going to be talking about Christmas in just a little bit. So why AMA? I'll just touch in on the distinguishing points that, again, make us different. We'll dive into those details. Number 1 is the unparalleled service. Like I said, by day 2, you are going to feel and you are going to be a regular in our home. An excellent example of this is that every single time I talk to somebody who's been on an AMA cruise, doesn't matter if it's been a year or 5 since they cruised with us, and it doesn't matter if they're good or bad with names, they remember the name of the cruise manager that hosted them through the entire experience. How do you do that? You develop a relationship. The bartender, you will remember the name of your favorite bartender because they're just going to be that bartender for you. Our staff is paid more than the others, our staff is trained more than the others, and ultimately at the end of the day, the average tenure of our crews on the ship is longer than the other guys, means they enjoy working for us and we take good care of them. By hanging on to them so long, they're so good at their jobs, they can run their duties in the background unconsciously. And consciously remember your name, remember your favorite cocktail, remember your kids' names. If they hear you in conversation saying, oh, my boy's birthday is on Thursday, they will remember come Thursday to put a little cake out so you can FaceTime them and blow out the candle on their behalf. That's the kind of stuff that you can expect from them because they are so polished and so well put together. The wellness program is something that we spearheaded. We were the first ones to do it back in 2014, 2013. We're not going to force anyone to do 6 a.m. yoga in the morning, but the fun thing about the wellness program is that we typically attract a younger crowd on our ships. The average age group of folks on board our ships is 59. At the same token, as we all know, age is just a number. So we attract people that want to get off the ship, get lost into town, and feel very secure about wandering a couple yards from the ship, knowing that they can sit down in a local bar, a local bistro, and be taken care of by the locals. So the wellness program is really unique. And again, we were one of the first ones to do bicycle tours. So there's no better way to experience Europe than on a flat bicycle tour that takes you to the other side of town. When I did the Danube experience, I took my mother, she was my +1 over the summer. We did the bicycle tour and the ship left us and we raced it for a little while, and then obviously it sped up and got past us, and we met the ship a little bit further down. It was only a 20-kilometer bike ride through the Wachau winery valley, but it was really fun just leaving the ship behind, bicycling, and meeting the ship at the next port rather than doing a round trip. So again, a lot of fun stuff if you like to be active. If you don't, great. There's all kinds of other stuff to do on the ship. The cultural exchange is the whole reason why you guys like to travel. You know, here in this area, Birmingham, whatever the case might be, I'm sure you've got great restaurants, you've got great hotels, I've been to many of them. This is why you travel. This is why anyone spends the money and the time and the lack of sleep on a transatlantic flight to go experience Europe or elsewhere. It's the cultural exchange. It's wanting to know how other cultures talk, behave, dance, eat, sing, whatever the case is. And we want to make sure that when we're bringing that on board the ship for evening entertainment, you're getting the real deal. Not getting a canned experience. It's authentic and it's absolutely genuine. Obviously, the idea with river cruising too is to get you off the ship. So unlike a lot of the other guys out there, our shore excursions are all included. Furthermore, we give you an option of 2 or 3 in the morning, 2 or 3 in the afternoon, and within those options, you can choose a gentle, normal, or active pace. Depending on how, what you want to do, great, you can pick that out, but how you want to do it is entirely up to you as well. So you're never having to rush after the crowd, or you're never having to, try to slow down for the people in the back. We've split everyone up to make it really customized for their experience, and what that naturally does is divide the groups into an average size of 8 to 13 people. So I know that a lot of you have done ocean cruises. I don't know what your experience was, but I'm sure at least a couple of the tours, you were part of 50 people wandering around town or wherever it was, and you had somebody on a loudspeaker maybe trying to guide you through the experience. With these small groups, you are always within, talking distance, and because it's so intimate, you can get involved. Rather than just being a witness and listening to them talk about the destination, you yourself can start asking questions. You can start looking into things and saying, hey, by the way, what is this? What is that? And they'll interact with you. The guides that we get, they're all local guides. We pay them more than anyone else, so we get the best talents to contract with AMA Waterways. Obviously, the local guides, they live in these towns, they grew up in these towns, and they've got every answer to every one of your questions. To be a guide in Europe, you have to be licensed, you have to be trained, and they only allow 20 guides per town. So you have to really fight to be one of the good guides, to get the job in the first place. So, again, just quality, 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 and the shore excursions are done very well. The food on board the ships is absolutely wonderful. Ultimately, at the end of the day, the fun thing about the food is that it's all regional. It's all going to be based on where you're sailing. So the country you're going through, if it's known for a particular dish, we're going to serve it. If the little town is really known for a particular wine, that's what you're going to be served at lunch or dinner. And everything is farm to table, everything is organic, nothing is frozen. Gelato ice cream, sure, that's frozen, but everything else is farm to table. Mimosas, unlimited for breakfast, unlimited beer and wine for lunch, unlimited beer and wine for dinner. Every afternoon, we have our sip and sail cocktail hour, unlimited beer and wine, and unlimited cocktails. You have a pre-breakfast, breakfast, post-breakfast, morning tea, pre-lunch, lunch, post-lunch, sip and sail cocktail hour, high tea, where you get the little trays and the little finger sandwiches, and then of course you get dinner. For those of you that are wanting to stay up late, we also have the raid the pantry, post-dinner snacks available in the lounge. So, you're not going to starve, and you're definitely not going to be for want of beverages because it's constantly flowing. Now, one thing to point out, though, is that ultimately, if you want a beverage between the meals, you will be charged for that. The reason why we charge you for that is we're not going to include it because between meals, you're off the ship. You're doing excursions, and if you come on board the ship and ask the bartender, who's more than happy to mix you a drink, hey, can I get a martini? They'll most likely say, absolutely, I'm willing to do that for you, happy to put it together. My recommendation though, if you're open to it, walk off the gangplank, turn right, go 50 feet, turn left, go up the alleyway, find the restaurant called Zanzibar, ask for John, and tell him Steve sent you, and he'll make you that martini, and it'll be authentic, it'll be genuine, and you can sit down in that little bistro and enjoy yourselves. That's what AMA Waterways is all about. Again, allowing you to be a traveler and not a tourist. We want to put you into the culture. The chef's table is the big experience on board the ship. It is complimentary. Everyone gets a guaranteed seat. This is a very VIP experience. It's in a small, intimate restaurant in the back of the ship, 28 people max. If there is one night where people typically dress up a little bit, it's going to be the chef's table. Otherwise, the rest of the cruise experience, everyone in the room, you are dressed just fine. You're on vacation. You know, a lot of these images and a lot of the videos, you see people wearing tuxedos and ballroom gowns. Please do not do that. You're on vacation. Be casual. Enjoy yourselves. But again, if there's one night where people like to get a little done up, it's going to be the chef's table. It's a 7-8 course pairing menu with wines, and it's all going to be designed, depending on the food that's available that day. Again, like I said, it's all farm to table, and as much wine and beer as you could possibly think of. Everything's being cooked in front of you, behind the glass from scratch as well. So it's a wonderful experience. Dietary restrictions, we do a great job. So if you're gluten-free, dairy-free, sugar-free, fish-free, beef-free, whatever the case is, we do a great job of doing that for you. And the best part is, let's say you're gluten-free. Every time you sit down, you don't have to raise your hand and ask for the gluten-free menu. We know. The entire staff has a picture of you, and it says this person is gluten-free. So right when you sit down, before you have to say anything, they swap out the menus, and you've got exactly what you're looking for there. Furthermore, if you're allergic to something, we've got EpiPens on board the ship, but we're not going to want to use them. So if you're allergic, we're very good about making sure that all of that is taken care of, back of house and front of house, so you don't have to worry about a thing. The one thing we cannot do on the ship when it comes to dietary restrictions is kosher. Kosher requires a second kitchen. We only have one, so kosher is the one thing we cannot do. Everything else we can do a great job with. So the fleet, we've got 36 ships in our fleet. We built 7 recently, so that number needs to be updated. Each ship is ultimately designed for the destination and ultimately designed to fit in the locks. Now, I know you've done river cruising. Locks, the best way I can describe them, are elevators for the river. Every ship in Europe has to be the same size, so they can all fit through the same lock. It's what you do with that size that makes a big difference. So being that every ship and all of our friendly competitors are the same size, the number of people on board plays a huge, significant role in how you are experiencing these places. So when you're traveling through Europe, our average ship has a maximum of 156 people on board. The other guys will max out at 196. You'll have 40 more people on the same size ship with the other guys versus here. What that means is that ultimately you're going to have less space. So tonight I'm going to be talking about the Christmas markets. She's put together a great Christmas markets cruise on board our Alma Magna. This is the gem of our fleet. What we did was we took a standard river cruise vessel, we doubled its width, and only added 20% more guests. To describe that another way, the maximum number of people on this double-wide ship is 196 people. That is the exact maximum number on the other guys on a ship half of this size. So being that there's all this space, you have some great amenities. We're the only river cruise line that has a regulation-sized pickleball court up on top because of that space. We have 5 bars, 4 restaurants, there's a cinema. All of our ships have a hair salon and spa, and then the Zen Wellness Spa is pretty cool on board the Magna. With river cruising, there are no inside staterooms. Everyone has windows, balconies, whatever the case is, whatever you're looking for with whatever the category is. But because the ship is double the width, every stateroom is double the size of a standard river cruise stateroom. So obviously very well appointed, everything you need, nothing you don't. And even if you're not cruising on the Magna, this is what our other staterooms look like on all of our other European ships. This is our signature twin balcony room. You have a French Juliet balcony over here that opens up, and you have an outdoor balcony where you can walk outside and be in the outside. So we give you the best of both worlds and give you more square footage on the inside. We can also accommodate in some staterooms 3 people. We have adjoining staterooms, kind of like in the hotels. So if you're traveling with family or another couple, you can slide open and close the door and all, have a party. And then of course we have staterooms that can also accommodate 4 people. So whatever you guys are looking for in your travel needs, AMA Waterways can put it together. So let's talk about where we go. Obviously Europe is our bread and butter. And as I mentioned to you, we go to Africa, Egypt, Vietnam and Cambodia, and Colombia. Again, I'm not going to get into those. If you guys have questions, I'll be happy to answer them toward the end of this evening. But tonight, we're going to talk about the Christmas markets. Have any of you done the Christmas markets?
We were going to, but Austria closed its country and our trip got cancelled.
Was that a couple of years ago?
That was
COVID.
COVID.
Yeah. So the Christmas markets, and you've done them, the Christmas markets are very different over there than what you can experience over here. I would say the Christmas markets are getting a little bit more authentic in the US, but typically you'll find our version of the Christmas markets at the local mall. The Christmas markets in Europe were built and have been tradition for thousands, 2 at least, of years. Hundreds and hundreds of years, the locals built these Christmas markets for the locals, so it's not going to feel like Disneyland. This is all the real deal. And of course, Christmas in Europe is very old. It's very old school Christmas. So you'll be able to buy all the trinkets, and every single Christmas market is unique, and they all have a big rivalry. They have their hot beverages, and every Christmas market has its own little unique micro mugs, and they fill that with glute wine or mulled wine, whatever the drink is. And it's funny, at the end of a Christmas market cruise, everyone's rolling their bags off of the ship, and they're all clinking with 100 mugs that they've collected through each Christmas market. So it's just so much fun. And when it comes to AMA Waterways, we continuously win Best Decorated Ship of the Year on all the rivers. We decorate the outside and the inside. We go all the way, through it, and ultimately everyone has a fantastic time with it. So I'll get into that in just a moment. The final thing too is we don't just do cruises. If you want to spend 7 days on a cruise, awesome. And then if you want to add 2 or 3 nights at the beginning, or 2 and 3 nights at the end, or all 3, we can put together land packages for you. So an example of that would be you're cruising through France and you want to spend 3 extra nights in Paris. That would be what we call a pre or a post land package. With that, you're going to stay in a 4 or 5-star world-class centrally located hotel. Breakfast is included. Transfers from the airport to the hotel and from the hotel to the ship are included. You get a tour a day and lots of free time to do your own thing while you're acclimating and getting over jet lag. And then the cruise manager themselves will be hosting you on the pre, on the cruise, and on the post. So it is a seamless experience throughout. So getting into the Christmas markets, and again, the big highlight of the evening is ultimately, probably one of the coolest things that we put together is a specialty cruise. When it comes to Christmas markets, 10 years ago, people were not doing this. A lot of Americans in particular thought it would be crazy to go to Europe where it's cold and you have to wear earmuffs, in the middle of winter going to Europe. Now they're getting so popular. They're starting to branch and spread out the Christmas markets earlier and earlier into November to be able to accommodate the locals and the tourists coming into the crowds. We run about, I'd say 30 to 40 cruises on the Christmas markets, whereas 10 years ago we had 2. So this is really, exciting. The Christmas markets this year are almost sold out. So if any of you are interested in Christmas markets in 26, now's really the time to start thinking about it because it's a seasonal thing. And there's only so many Christmas markets and so many departures, they fill up fast.
On board AMA Waterways, beautiful river cruise ships in Europe, the holiday season begins from the middle of November. Any guest who joins us during the second half of November and through the new year will step inside a seasonal wonderland filled with magic on our more than 20 unique holiday cruise itineraries. Whether embarking in Germany, France, Portugal, Hungary, or Romania, festive activities and traditional delights await around every corner of the ship. With tree trimming, gingerbread decorating, Christmas caroling, and a visit from a special someone on every departure. Whether or not snow is falling outside the ship, and no matter how many Christmas markets you have the pleasure of visiting on shore, an AMA Waterways holiday cruise is always filled with warmth and cheer. Join us on board next season.
So I had the pleasure of doing the Christmas Markets cruise on the Douro River in Portugal 2 months ago, a month and a half ago in December. And that was my first Christmas Markets cruise, and I have to say, I know it's really cliche, but after everyone helps decorate the 2 Christmas trees, they do the famous pickle hunt. I don't know if you guys are familiar with the tradition of the pickle. I don't know where it came from, it's a German tradition, but there's a little glass pickle ornament. And typically in families, and this was a thing that was done in the 50s and 40s in the US, you put the green pickle in the tree and it blends in. It's camouflage, just green like the rest of the tree, and the first kid that finds it gets a special gift. Well, we hide the pickle somewhere on the ship, and everyone runs off with their champagne and cocktails trying to find the pickle, and when they find the pickle, they get an extremely cool gift. So my favorite part of any Christmas cruise is going to be finding the pickle. And that's an old German tradition, and it's a lot of fun watching, grown adults running around the ship like children. And that's what Christmas is all about, guys, right? Even though the magic of Saint Nick might have left, after we started to mature into puberty and stuff like that, enjoying Christmas in this way brings you back to your childhood. And more particularly, when you see the kids and you see their eyes lighting up, it really allows you to vicariously live through them and experience Christmas the way that we all used to when we were kids. So finding the pickle was my favorite part. Perhaps it might be yours. So when it comes to the Christmas markets, we're finding that there's a lot of multi-generational travelers. We're finding grandma, grandpa taking the grandkids. We're finding all 3 generations going. You will have a few more children on board the ship, but like I said before, it's great because you get to live vicariously through them and see the twinkle in their eye. The Christmas markets is also a great gift. And I know that gifting a river cruise might seem a little ridiculous, but we are seeing a lot more people gifting river cruises to their kids or to their parents or whatever the case is, saying, hey, the best Christmas gift you could possibly get is spending more time with your loved ones in a cool, exotic location. And so gift giving is certainly something that we like to do, and we can put together all kinds of cruise certificates and package it and make it very pretty for you. The onboard traditions, as I was mentioning, you have the decorated ships, you have the boot for St. Nick, tree trimming, holiday dinner, and this is also something else. You take your shoes on night 4 of the Christmas market cruise, and you put them outside the door, and the next morning you find all kinds of goodies shoved into them. Now, if you don't want your shoes out there, you can use the slippers. Everyone has a robe and a slipper. You can put your slippers out there, and it'll be like the stockings for everyone. So again, every day there's little tiny things that just add up to give you the full Christmas experience. When it comes to the Christmas markets too, this is the only time that we allow people into the kitchen. We all bake cookies, make a giant mess, and then you leave the mess behind. Our staff will clean it up, and you can enjoy the cookies that you decorated out in the lounge. So it's really a fun time. And really, when it comes to cooking too, this is a foodie's delight. There are things that are offered in the Christmas markets in these countries that are really special, that are only cooked in Christmas time. I know here in America we have the pleasure of having a globalized market and a globalized economy where you can buy strawberries year-round. You can buy anything year-round. In Europe, it's a little different. So an example would be, let's see, I forget the name of these things, but they only make them in the Christmas season. And that's what makes them special. You can't buy them any time of year. They force you to buy them at Christmas time. So it's absolutely a foodie's delight. You're going to be eating and drinking to your heart's delight, and you don't have to do any cleaning. Sounds like a wonderful time for me over the holidays. So the Danube is going to be the cruise that I took my mother on. I did it in the summer, and I can speak to all these different things that we're going to be talking about right now for the Christmas markets. So first off, you are going to be sailing on the Magna. The Magna is that double-wide ship I was telling you about, the crown jewel of our fleet, and you're going to have all the extra space. So Christmas markets on the Danube are going to be Hungary, Slovakia, Austria, and Germany. It doesn't get more Christmas than that, guys. When it comes to Christmas markets, you have two rivers. You have the Danube and you have the Rhine. The Rhine is going to be mostly France and Germany, a little bit of Switzerland. The Danube is going to be as Christmas as it gets, okay? And like I said, even though you're traveling through all these different countries, it's going to be smooth. You're not going to feel rushed because you're doing it via river cruise. You unpack once and you magically pop up in all these different places. The iconic capital cities that are world renowned for their Christmas cruises, Christmas markets, is Budapest, Bratislava, and Vienna. Those are the top three. It doesn't get more Christmas than those three destinations, and that's what you're going to be doing on this cruise. Thousands and thousands of lights illuminate not only the Christmas markets, but every damn cathedral. The entire city is lit up, glowing like a snow globe. It's ridiculous. So the Christmas markets are the highlight, but when it goes to nighttime, the whole city is lit up, everyone is festive, and I cannot begin to describe the energy you feel when you're walking through, and it's Christmas time, it's the locals. Harry Potter fans in the crowd, I know we're all a little bit older than that, but it's kind of like Hogsmeade. You know, Hogsmeade is that little tiny village down the way from Hogwarts. And yes, I'm a nerd, but when it comes down to it, everything is glowing, everyone's got their butterbeer running around town, they've got their earmuffs, and it's just magical. Again, it takes you back to a Christmas that we've forgotten. These are all the Christmas markets on the Danube. The one I'm highlighting right now is Magna on the Danube. So again, she's got flyers, I'm sure she'll send out some information, but Magna on the Danube is what we're talking about tonight. So one of the first Christmas markets you're going to experience is in Budapest, in Hungary. So Vörösmarty Square is one of the oldest and most beautiful markets. There you'll find chimney cakes and other Hungarian delights. Within the city, there's dozens of these little tiny Christmas markets. They pop up, these little sheds, and they sell food and trinkets and Pinocchio dolls and all that fun stuff. So I highly recommend you do a traveler trick. You show up with 2 suitcases and you shove the medium-sized one inside the large one. You go to Europe with 2 bags and you come back home with 3 because you're going to be filling it up with souvenirs and gifts and things that you can buy your family that you can only get handmade in Germany. You know, there's a monster on the other side of that door. You can't get them at Amazon. You can't get them at Walmart. Like, these are really nice gifts because they're priceless. They're handmade, local things from these areas. The Advent Market by St. Stephen's Basilica was founded in 2011, and it features only handcrafted souvenirs. So again, very unique. Then you're going to cruise on to Vienna. These markets date back to 1298. Every year since 1298, these have been going on. Talk about tradition. And the founding of its early version was the December market. The huts appeared for the first time in 1626, selling baked goods. So we're talking about history here that you just cannot find here in the U.S. There are 6 major markets in Vienna, including the beautiful one at Schönberg Palace. We visit 3 of them, and you can wander the stalls of some of these incredible places. Hot mulled wine is going to be what you're going to find in Vienna. Hot mulled wine is what it's all about. And there's fragrance of gingerbread and roasted chestnuts. Everywhere you go, there's going to be little kiosks selling roasted chestnuts. Continuing a little bit further north, right, heading further into the German area, we're visiting Salzburg in Austria. This is going to be going through the Austrian Alps through Salzburg, the birthplace of Mozart. You're gonna have a full day excursion in Salzburg, which includes a walking tour of the UNESCO Old Town. For those of you that are not familiar with UNESCO, it's a world organization that preserves history. So this town has been deemed a UNESCO heritage town. So if you need to change the electricity in your house, or if you really want to put solar panels on the roof, they're not going to let you. The town has to look and feel like it did back in the day, and that's how they're preserving it. They're keeping it in a little time capsule and ultimately making it as authentic and genuine as possible. You're going to visit the cathedral, the Christmas markets, Hellbrunn Palace. The inner courtyard is turning into one of the most romantic backdrops for a Christmas market. This is it right here. And I'm not even going to try to, say some of these words, but, it's going to guide you in all these different directions. And this is just, this is the size of our football field. So you're only seeing the corner of the field. It keeps going back. And you're going to, this is where you're going to get your holiday pictures, guys. This is where you're going to get your selfies, and it's just going to be incredible. Moving on, Regensburg, Germany. We're going to do a walking tour showcasing the city's architectural highlights, the Old Town Hall, Porta Prateria, and then of course we're going to go to the Christmas market. Something, and I just have to tell you this, something that the other guys do is they advertise Christmas markets, they promise you'll go to them, but when do you think they take you to them?
During the day.
During the day, which is stupid. When you do Christmas markets, you want to see the lights. When do you see the lights? At night, okay? So obviously these particular experiences are just before dinner or just after dinner. And of course, if you're tired, stay on the ship. The ship is also decorated, guys, but we do this either before or after dinner, in the evening, sometimes at sunset, like this image here, where the sky is still darkening. So you are getting the Christmas markets at the right time. It's all about, the seasonality. It's all about doing things right. There's a common sense that AMA Waterways has pretty good, built in. And when you go to the Christmas markets, everyone knows you want to go at night. We go at night. And then Nuremberg, Germany. While we're here, we're going to taste the Petite Nuremberg sausages. World famous. It's a 700-year-old tradition of minced pork with official guidelines regarding its size. You cannot call it Nuremberg sausage if it's too small or too big. If it's smaller, it's a Vienna sausage, right, guys? So, they really get particular when it comes to their sausages because they're so proud of it. Kind of like you can only call sparkling wine from Champagne, Champagne. Everything else has to be called sparkling wine. The sausages, if you've got a Nuremberg sausage, it not only has to be made there, but it has to fit a certain dimension. We also visit the Craftsman Courtyard, or Handwerkshof. And it dazzles with glass-blown figures, tin toys, and Lübenkirchen gingerbread and bratwurst. So again, like I was saying, these toys are handmade. It's not made in China, guys. These are handmade by the locals. So it's really, really unique in that sense. And then, of course, the holiday traditions in Southeast Europe. If you're interested in diving deeper into the Danube is a long river. We're talking about the upper Danube. There's also a lower Danube, but that is not what this group is. So if somebody asks you, which part of the Danube are you thinking about doing? You can say upper Danube. That's where all the holiday markets are, okay, guys? So you're not doing the southeast Danube, you're doing the upper Danube. Clarissa, what are the current promotions on that particular group? Do you remember?
So let me pull up the blog right quick. Is that okay?
Yeah.
Just type in memoriesawait.com.
I'm going to let you plug in your
Okay,
laptop.
sure.
There we
Was
go.
this the same one or do we have?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
So with all of our cruising with AMA Waterways, we always have promotions. And there's all kinds of promotions that are active for other cruises right now. The ones that she's about to show us are going to be specific for this group cruise for the Christmas markets in 2026. Nobody look at her password.
What's your policy on solo travelers?
Solo travelers are starting to become more and more active out there. As the baby boomers, he doesn't want to travel anymore, she can't travel anymore, whatever the case is, we're seeing a lot more solo travelers out there. So the policies around that are becoming much more flexible. So for those of you that have done ocean cruising, you know that the pricing you see on the brochure is based on double occupancy. The simplest way I can describe this is a room on a ship, using nice round big numbers, a room on a ship is worth $10,000. The price you see in the brochure is a per person price of splitting that room into two, right? You have two people, him and her, in that room. For solo travelers, the price isn't going to be the double occupancy price. If the two people are spending $5K on a $10K room, and a solo traveler wants to come in, some of the other guys force them to spend $10,000 for the room. That's the value of the room. With AMA Waterways, your worst case scenario is that you're spending 150%. We're never going to charge you for two people in a room that fits two people. With solo travelers, we have specific dates that completely supplement that and cut that out. So you are paying the same price as if two people were paying $10,000. So I know that's a little confusing maybe, but to answer your question directly, as a solo traveler, I recommend you consider flexibility with your dates. If you really want to go on October 10th, maybe if you pushed your trip back to October 13th, you would be able to waive the supplement and go for 100% brochure price instead of 150% brochure price. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. I'll let you dive in.
Okay, so as I mentioned earlier, our new website specific for the travel club is travelwithclarissa.com. That's one R and two S's. So if you need to find anything, a meeting, a group trip, whatever, everything is going to be here. So I'll walk you through the website. You see our upcoming trips. So when you click here on Europe Christmas Markets 26, why is it not working? Oh. Okay, so flyers, meetings. Let's go here. Okay, so here's the about. You just kind of read through if anybody has any questions about anything. Sometimes we get asked if we're able to do speaking engagements. So like I'm in the Lions Club of Trussville. So other organizations like Rotary, the Ladies Committee of 50, different organizations, the Senior Center, they ask for speakers. If you're involved in a civic organization and you want a speaker about the travel club, just let us know. I'll show you this video right quick. We filmed this
for our community, and maybe I'll see you on the next trip. Stephanie Moore with Max Marketplace, and today I am coming to you from the Royal Princess in the Pacific Ocean.
This was our last
I am on a cruise through the Inside Passage of Alaska with my friend Clarissa Winchester. Clarissa, tell me about your business. The Cruise Planners, Clarissa Winchester and Associates.
So we are a cruise planner franchise based in the Trussville, Alabama area. There are 3 franchises in the area. But ours specifically is to host the Trussville Travel Club. But as you know, that's why you're here this week. And our travel club this is our inaugural trip. And so we were asked to start this by the community of Trussville and multiple shows that I was working throughout holiday season last year. And so this trip has been planned since November of last year, and I got it on that Black Friday deal.
I wanted to show you that, and then if you click on over here, TTC, it talks about the reasons we should travel with the travel club, our inclusivity, expertise. I'm proud to say that I have been on a wonderful wine river cruise with AMA on the Rhine. I didn't drink wine for a while after I got home, and I love wine because I had so much wine on that trip. It was fabulous. And our fellowship, easy to participate, RSVP to any event, and then here's all of the links to our social media. And then if you go over here to blog, you can see our trips. So here you will see the first one listed, Christmas markets on the Danube. It's got all the information. It's got our map, and then all the Q&A is here. So if you want to send this link to your friends and family, you can. It talks about the promotions. We're going to go over that in just a minute. We'll show the rooms. One thing I like that Carson said that is absolutely true, it's everything that you need and nothing that you don't. You lack for nothing, but there's not a lot of extra things. Just you're there to experience the rivers and the countries on the rivers. So you can see this beautiful ship, as he was showing you before, the deck plan, some of the pictures on.
That's the gift shop, I believe. Yeah.
I thought it was a walk-in closet.
How did you know? Okay, and then what I did was I put the itinerary on here, and I put in red everything that is specific to Christmas market. So if you're just looking for the highlight right quick of what Christmas thing am I gonna eat, what Christmas thing am I gonna do, everything is here. And then any other trip you wanna see is on here, but you can send this link directly to anybody that you want. And then as far as our promotions, let me go back to that one. So the promotions that we're doing for this one, it says what promotions are available if I go on this trip. We have two that we're gonna choose from. These are valid until March 31st. This is an extension of the holiday triple savings offer, up to $2,000 off per stateroom. Special holiday triple saving offer has been extended with the holiday offer. You can also get a complimentary stateroom upgrade if you'd like, and up to $100 onboard credit per stateroom.
So if I could
Yes,
just
go ahead.
quickly talk about that. So again, the holiday triple savings, you get 3 benefits. Benefit number 1, $2,000 off per stateroom or $1,000 off per person. Does that make sense? Number 2, you get a complimentary stateroom upgrade. So if you booked a B, we'll throw you in an A. If you booked a C, we'll throw you in a B. And then finally, the third of the triple savings is that everyone gets onboard credit. There's really not that much you can spend money on board the ship. Most everything is included. The only things you can spend money on is onboard gratuities, okay? You can do the hair salon and spa, so if you want a massage, you can spend money on that. The gift shop, which you saw, that was a colorful closet, but if you are there during Oktoberfest and you forgot your lederhosen at home, you can buy one on board the ship.
There you go.
And then premium spirits, right? Like a 30-year-old scotch, really fancy champagne, you will be charged for that, and you can just write it off on that onboard credit. And then the other promotion is going to be the Air Plus promotion, which is combinable with the triple savings. The Air Plus promotion allows you, what's the major airport out of this area?
Delta.
Birmingham.
Birmingham.
Birmingham?
Yeah.
Is Birmingham an international?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so flying from Birmingham to Budapest, round trip with the cruise is gonna cost you guys $9.99. So in 2026, to do a round trip airfare from here to Europe is $9.99. The catch for saving so much money, the catch is that you don't get to pick Delta. It might be United, it might be Lufthansa, it might be Air France, it might be something else. So you have to be a little flexible with that. The other catch is that you can't pick the exact itinerary. It's not going to be a 2 a.m. out of Birmingham flight with a 15-hour layover in Munich. It's going to be a regular flight, but you have to be flexible to take advantage of that tremendous savings. And of course, if you want business class, the price does go up. So if you want economy, premium economy, or business class, you will be saving lots of money compared to going directly with the airline or whatever the case is. So again, the 2 savings that are available until the end of March is going to be the Air Plus program, which I just described, and the holiday triple savings. Does that make sense, everyone?
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
And I will say, there are a lot of vendors in the air business that don't need to be in the air business, but AMA gets it right every time. I have never had a problem with my AMA Air They say when and where I'm going on what airline, and everything has been seamless. The other thing that I wanted to show you right quick is if you go back to the homepage of the blog, you can scroll down to this post right here where I did a review of AMA back in 22. There we are with the captain. But one of the things I wanted to show you on here, I don't know if anybody knows this, but there used to be a magazine in Alabaster that went to all of the businesses and residences in town. And I was the travel writer for that magazine for 2 or 3 years. And so I kept up a blog so that when I needed to pull content for my news article, my column, I could just pull for here. And so this was something that I had done for AMA. And I said that some of the favorite things that we liked was the itineraries, the pre and post cruise options, accommodations, the views, the local wines and beers, the fellow AMA passengers, the app, the daily cruiser, the postcards. Do you want to talk about the postcards, or do you want me to talk about postcards?
Yeah, so on board the ship, one of the fun things that we offer is you go up to the reception area and you can ask for as many postcards as you want. For this cruise, they're all going to be holiday focused, I suppose, with pretty pictures. All you have to do is address it, write a nice note to whoever you're sending it to, and give it back to us, and we'll ship it for free. So, what a lot of people do with the Christmas cruises is use that for their Christmas card, their Christmas mailer, right? So day 2, you show up with, the sticker labels with all your friends and family that you typically sticker the card you send out every year. Just slap them on the postcards, write them a little nice note, and let us do the shipping. And so that when your friends and family get your Christmas card, they'll see the stamp from Germany or Slovakia or whatever the case is. And it's just so exciting when they call you and you get home, what the heck were you doing over there? So the postcards are really fun, and again, we ship it for free.
The cruise manager, the food, the included excursion. So obviously my review of AMA is on there. And I think y'all probably have figured out by this point, I'm pretty selective where and who we travel with the travel club, meaning the vendors and the destinations. Because when I sit down at my desk, I have email from every vendor on the planet. And as the director and the host of the Trussville Travel Club, it is my discretion and my responsibility to choose responsibly and with value. And AMA is not only just a bucket list trip for me to do this specific river cruise, but this is also my daughter's graduation gift from college. And I'm inviting you all to come with us. So if you feel like living your best authentic life for Christmas 2026, we'd love to have you come. Does anybody have any questions about where to find the promotions? Anything about
I have a
the
question.